And I was talking to my attorney last week, and I decided on giving every one of you $200,000. So thanks for showing up. Pretty lucky, huh? See? Coming to the webinar pays. Okay, so I'll probably be dead tomorrow, and you're going to have this money, $200,000 a piece. That's a pretty good starter kit, right? And what I want you to do in your pairs is to talk to each other, and I want you to answer 3 questions. The questions are, what is your purpose? What are you trying to do? What is your objective? Okay. Why is this your objective? When you're really doing this, and when you're doing really anything that's super important, and when clients are doing anything that's super important, and when human beings are just making the big decisions in life, never, ever, ever forget the importance of the why, the WHY. It is a huge driver with these foundational kinds of decisions. And if I'm going to be so kind as to give all of you $200,000 as an exit prize for putting up with me for 64 years, you should at least take a minute and think, well, why am I doing this? Because you should know, okay? And the third thing, and we'll talk about this some more, is the how, okay? How are you going to invest? I'm writing very fast here, Kelly, so I admit this is not my best calligraphy, but I'm staying at the same time. Okay, now I'm going to say you can invest in real estate, you can invest in stocks, you can invest in crypto, you can invest in metals, or you can just invest in cash. I don't care. Okay. Now, again, you're not going to solve the problems of the universe in 12 minutes. We understand that. But I really want you guys to dig in and be thoughtful about this. Be serious. You know, pretend like I really am going to die tomorrow. And you really are going to get $100,000 or $200,000 check. And I really am able to figure out how to put you in chat rooms. God, this Zoom thing. Why do they move my buttons every time? It is such a hassle. Here, okay, that's where they put it. Okay. Assign manually.
I don't know if you want to share all your innermost thoughts right now.
Oh, no. Are we recording or not?
Recording in progress.
Craig, in honor of your cameo appearance, what do you got? What would you do? Who'd you do it with?
We did it with Jeff and Jacques.
Okay.
And, we decided that the why is pretty important because we elected to go ahead and diversify, of course, because we didn't have any immediate needs. And the other why was we don't know when those needs may need to be met. So we diversified in some that were much more liquid, and we balanced the liquidity with the rate of return to try to simplify that so that if we needed immediate, we'd have that, and we'd still have something for something that was in a more distant horizon.
That's awesome. Okay. So 2 key words that come out of what he just said. One is time, and the other is liquidity. Okay. So if I'm talking to a 9-year-old who apparently is getting Alzheimer's already, I got to talk to his dad about some more blueberries in the diet or something. He's got a lot of time, doesn't need a lot of liquidity, right? People in our age group are like, we don't have a lot of time left. We need some liquidity. We want to do stuff with all the money we've been saving in our previous work lives or wherever we're at. Okay. So 2 very important points for sure. Mercedes, Who'd you do yours with?
Michael.
Okay. What did you guys come up with?
Well, I'm not sure if Michael really agreed, but I was like,
That's weird.
yeah, I know. But I was like, well, if something dropped out of the sky, I might do something interesting. I've always wanted to like flip a house. I think I could. I think I know enough people. I think I have enough people to partner with. And I said, I think I'd like to try something like that. So I'm going for the risky, fast cash and excitement. What I'm doing.
One of the things that I fall back on, one of the best stories about this topic that I have gotten from you guys in the Desert Pencil webinar is Kelly's story about her kitchen and her appliances.
Mm-hmm.
She inherited money last year, I believe it was, from her father passing. And she said, hey, I'm this age. I want this stuff. I'm doing it. I should put it in my retirement. But, this is a balancing point, people. And one of the things that we all need to remember is, and there's a very simple way to look at it. If you've never done this, you might want to do it when we're done today. But this is your begin date and this is your end date. Okay, and we all have them. And so the exercise is put an X on, where do you think you are right now on your line? And I'm telling you, I've done this with clients, and it's kind of a freak out when people have to face their mortality. I'm like, well, dude, you just got like $1 million from your parents or your uncle or whatever. I go, kind of the conversation we're in. So that is another excellent point is, hey, I want to do this thing, like Mercedes said, remodel the house or whatever before I go. I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
There is something to be said about that. I was just reading an article that said something about, well, for us in our 60s, the timeline for doing stuff, 12 more years.
Yeah.
Think about
I don't believe that.
But see, you don't believe anything Michael says, so that makes sense too. Chris, what are you doing with your 200 grand?
Christine will tell you all about it.
Okay.
Chris is like, you talk. We are okay. So I'm gonna do this. What are we trying to do? We are going to do an Oxford house. And why are we trying to do it? Because the need is there. So we're going to take our money and we're going to go find a very cheap, large home, large estate that maybe needs some work. And we're going to give the people, and it's not necessarily an Oxford house, but a home for people who are struggling with addictions. And so we're
hoping
doing
to
it.
Find a distressed house too.
Yes,
like
we're going to
tax
find that
distressed or what
distressed
have you.
house. Yeah, we're gonna find a distressed house so that gives our people purpose, and gives them something to occupy their minds with other than their addictions, and require some kind of a 10-hour community service type of thing that they'll be working on the home and helping with the equity or what have you. Obviously, we won't have them do electrical or plumbing, but fixing fences and painting walls is something that they can be very proficient at. And how are we going to do it? Well, we're going to take Joe's money and we're going to find a super cheap house. And there's government programs, government funds that are available that Chris is talking about, the neighbors down the street. And so we are going to get as much government funding as we can. And I don't know why my camera's doing that. I'm not moving around.
I'm buying you a new, before I die, I'm buying you a new camera. I am freaking out.
What's going on? Anyway, but yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to get government funding and figure it out and be able to make it all happen. And you know, we think, and because the money's coming from Joe, we think that'll make him proud because it's worthwhile. It's not always about the money. It's about making you feel good and making money.
It is. Yeah, it is. You're right. You're right. And I talked about that. Under the banner of what we'll just call this Oxford House, because that's an easy to remember term. Within every professional license domain, there are specialties, right? And I know something about this idea from many angles, but there's different levels of rehabilitation places that people go, they come out of rehab, or there's just a lot of different places these people come from. Okay. So first of all, and without a doubt, 100%, this provides a service that modern society needs. Okay. It just does. Now, if all you do is listen to Cairo radio in downtown Seattle, you would think the entire city of Seattle is just a zombie apocalypse with people just propped up on meth, and there's pieces of foil from South Lake Union to Northgate. And I love Cairo, but it's a real problem. I know we have people from other parts of the state, different parts of the country. But regardless of whether in a metro area or not, these facilities, we'll call them Oxford House, they provide a very strong public service. And if that's your thing, that's a super strong why for a lot of people. Okay. The second thing is they are huge cash cows. Oh my God. I run the pro formas on these things. And when you look at the kind of food they feed these people, which is kind of like prison food, it kind of is. And the amount of money, it's a simple equation. It's this much rent, this much expenses is this much net. And an average client will spend $6,000 to $15,000 a month for a room and some food. That's on a 30-month, stay or a lease, whatever you want to call it. You find an old house and you can put, we did a pro forma on one of these. We put 8 bedrooms in an $800,000 house. We're making almost $40,000 a month after expenses. Okay. So they can be an extraordinary investment for cash flow. Okay. Much stronger than the average duplex. Okay. But you're also in that specialty nuance of what I'll call Oxford House. There's another element to that, which is now you're running a business. It's not a side hustle. It's a full-time business. And depending on the level of service that you provide the clients, you are now at the whim of the Department of Licensing. And that's a whole nother layer that you may or may not want to play with. Okay. But if I was younger, so like if I was 35 years younger, there are 2 things that I would have, if I was going to relook at this industry from an investment perspective. One of them is these places. Okay. And I had plenty of chances to invest in apartments. And, apartments and rents and that whole discussion has sort of been like a post-COVID phenomena. We didn't really hear about that a whole lot before 2020-ish. I mean, some, but not like now. Okay. So if I go back 30, 35 years, I probably still wouldn't be in the apartment business because I hate the management part. But I would look at these rehab facilities, and the other thing that I would do is 2 words: mini storage. Because those are super cheap to build. They are super high rent per square foot. And best of all, you don't have to deal with people.